The Ravens just made a huge mistake trading for Roquan Smith. So the Ravens just traded a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick for Bears linebacker Roquan Smith. Smith is one of the best, if not the best, inside linebacker in the league right now. He's leading the NFL in tackles so far this season. But Roquan Smith and the Bears could not come to an agreement on a contract earlier this year, and he's a free agent at the end of this season. They simply didn't think they were going to be able to sign him, so they ended up trading him before he would just walk in free agency. I think this is going to be a huge problem for the Ravens because the Ravens could not come to a contract agreement with their star quarterback this offseason, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson didn't accept the Ravens contract offer earlier this year, just like how Roquan Smith couldn't come to a contract agreement with the Bears. So if the Ravens want to keep Roquan after these 8 regular season games and possibly playoff games, they're going to have to give him a big contract at the end of the season. And oh yeah, who else needs a really big contract? Your best player, your quarterback, Lamar Jackson, the guy who you guys have not gone out and gotten a wide receiver 1 for. You look at all these young quarterbacks in the league and what happens to them when they get that number 1 wide receiver. We all know what happened to Josh Allen once the Bills traded for Stephon Diggs. We all know what happened with Jalen Hurts this past offseason when the Eagles went out and traded for A.J. Brown. He looks like a totally different player compared to the way he looked in that last game, that playoff game versus the Bucs, compared to the first game this season. He's probably the runner-up for MVP right now. And oh yeah, the Eagles have a really good number 2 wide receiver too, Devontae Smith, the guy they drafted in the 1st round 2 years ago. And even look how much better Kyler Murray's playing now that DeAndre Hopkins has returned from his suspension. The Ravens have never gone out and got Lamar that number 1 guy. They went out and drafted Rashad Bateman 2 years ago in the 1st round, but he was drafted towards the end of the 1st round and he has not been able to stay healthy. Yes, Mark Andrews is his number 1 go-to guy, but he is a tight end. I'm talking about a wide receiver here. And there's wide receivers the Ravens could trade for at this trade deadline. Guys like Brandon Cooks, Jerry Jeudy, possibly DJ Moore. I know the Panthers are saying they don't want to trade him, but I really feel like no one is untradeable, especially when you're a team like the Panthers who are really in rebuild mode. So by trading this 2nd round and 5th round pick to the Bears for Roquan Smith, I think it just makes it tougher for the Ravens to go get that number 1 guy. You could say, oh yeah, they'll go draft a wide receiver in the 1st round next year. Yeah, but by trading for Roquan Smith and giving up a 2nd and 5th round pick, it says that the Ravens are here to make a deep playoff run. And that means a late 1st round pick. You're not going to be getting one of those top wide receivers. Roquan Smith is an outstanding player. Yes, he's going to make this Ravens team better, especially this defense. But I think the thing the Ravens really needed to focus on was getting that number 1 wide receiver for Lamar. And I just think this makes it even tougher for them to do that. If a number 1 wide receiver comes to this Ravens team, I really think the sky is the limit for Lamar. So now the Ravens have even more questions to answer, in my opinion. How are they going to pay Roquan Smith? How are they going to pay Lamar Jackson? And how are they going to find and acquire that number 1 wide receiver? It'll be interesting to see if they are able to re-sign Roquan Smith in this offseason. And if not, they just gave up a 2nd and a 5th round pick for a guy who could possibly just play 8 regular season games. Let me know what you guys think about this trade in the comments down below. Looking forward to discussing with you guys. Peace.